Hello there, guys, and welcome to my crack book. And then, obviously, this is over on my YouTube. Afterwards, I'm hoping not to do an hour tonight because I am way behind on everything that I like to get done on a Sunday, ready for a Monday. And even one of the coaches, Richard, is touting on about scheduling your day and getting up and taking those small steps. And that is something that I need to do. I need to get back to properly scheduling each and every day, because I have just literally been in the moment dealing with each and every step as it sort of comes. And I need to now get back into my way of sort of dealing with my Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. But this Sunday, I have completely failed, and I have not got things the way they need to be for me to get up and be ready for tomorrow morning, which is the day that all the state people come back to work after the weekend, and the ball continues to roll in the progress that they have to do, in the process that they have to follow. And that ball just keeps on and keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling. So I haven't managed to make sure that I am ready yet. So I'm not going to be here for an hour because I have to get on and get some stuff done. So anyway, I'm preparing for the 12th. So I'm waiting for my order to turn up with my red X at and my End It movement stuff on. And the reason that I'm not going under my banner, I know I'm going under the End It banner for this, is because, as you know, I am gagged. That also means that my social media is gagged as much as they can. So obviously they control how many shares I get, how many likes I get, how many people see my views. Because this is a page, then obviously you have to pay to be able to send your pages out to people, and I'm not in a situation to run it like a business with sponsorship posts and things like that, which is why my posts don't get out to people. So anyway, the reason that I'm going to go on the End It platform is because I want it recognised that state kidnapping is a real thing. And they're still talking about the Rotherham case and how the police had covered up for so long, and their reasons being that it was because they didn't want to be racist. Now, they've admitted in the Parliament hearing today that there is a grooming gang in every city around the country. But what they've also said is this is not isolated to one culture. This is, you know, the conspiracy theories who are anti the red X, who believe that the red, but they're all confused on why the red X, and this is the thing. So obviously I know why the red X. So when I watch the conspiracy theories about it, I sort of think, well, okay, this will all come out in the end, and it's not actually what you think it is. So what people have got a problem with End It is that they talk about individual cases, but they don't talk about who's doing it. And this has always been the case when it comes to child exploitation, child trafficking, child grooming, child sexual abuse, child rape, and yes, child prostitution. They consider that children are old enough to be prostitutes. The challenge that we've got is East meets West, meets North and South. Me, I'm a Westerner, I'm white, I'm British, I'm a Westerner, I live under Westernized philosophies. Then there are the Eastern and the North and the South, and everybody who in between and follows their own values, beliefs, rules, regulations, religions, or governance. We are meant to have a democrat society here. It's not really like that. It's left, right, and even the left and the right don't talk to each other and stuff. Some are under a communist state, some are under a very religious, some are under very dogmatic, some have no governance at all, some is guerrilla warfare. It's even my son made a comment today, and I had a conversation with my son today who has come from, I wanted to take him out of Leyland a long time ago and show him the world, but we were so stuck to their friends in school and the trapping of children go from nursery to primary to, you know, high school to college to university, and that friendships and bonds and the roots that you put down. But I wanted to get them out of Leyland because Leyland was very much what I call a white supremacy place, and the hatred to Polish moving in was unbelievable, and my son was taking on that philosophy. And my dad had also made a comment to me once, and it was about building, and he was going on about other cultures and other nations, and I was like, hang on a minute, Dad, you were the person who raised me to not be judgmental and to be appreciative of other cultures and to actually travel. It was my stepmom who said, go travel, understand other cultures before you make a decision about where you want to be with your life. And my son said tonight, because he's living with somebody from Romania, and I said to him, how do you feel now you've come to Portsmouth, where we are a multicultural place here in Portsmouth? It's 100% complete diversity here. There is every nation, every country, every part of every land and nation here in Portsmouth. They should have national multicultural days here. It'd be fun. And spot the British person, but then they're all British, but spot the white British. We're a dying breed. I think most of them emigrated, haven't they? And most of the British emigrated from the UK now. I think quite a lot. I think it was 150,000 or something over the last time I checked the statistics on it. But anyway, he made a comment today, and he said he was sitting down having a meal and chatting with his lodger, and he said it was really nice to sit down and have a meal with somebody of other cultures, and he even commented that he actually had a hatred for the Polish, and he said his friend looked at him as if he went sort of like, and he said, you know, how he's really looking forward now to really understanding different cultures and different ways of being and things like that. But here comes the lands of the challenges. How do we keep our own boundaries, our own safeguarding in a world full of so many people with so many different cultures and so many different things? And how do we keep our own true self and essence? And how do we allow for our children? How do we allow, I shouldn't really say how do we allow, but how do we allow for our children to go out and not have traumas that we, the parents, have got to pick up the pieces? And then what the children do if they're brought into the world by parents who are meant to love and care and provide and protect and grow and nurture them, then decide one day that this responsibility is too much, and or are trying to juggle everything and aren't there for their children. And one thing they said in this video is that it's children that are vulnerable that are being groomed. It's vulnerable children. So how do you define vulnerable children? Well, shouldn't social services, as I said on the very first time I broke my gag, I said when a child is taken into foster care, the standard should be so high that the parents are like, whoa, you know, I got to get my shit together. This isn't, you know, they're grooming children to go to prison, to become prostitutes, to have addiction issues, to live with trauma, to start their life with attachment disorders, trust issues. I got a really squeaky chair underneath me, guys, and the two babies are asleep in my little boudoir in the living room at the moment. We've still got the tent up from over the weekend, so but I've had a really hard think about this all weekend, and I've absolutely thrashed my head over where I stand with all of this. And could I just go and live a materialistic, self-centered life as a coach? I shouldn't really say that because a lot of the coaches are really lovely, family people. I've reconnected to a lot of them recently. I'm really looking forward to Trent coming over. I'm so excited about Trent coming over. It's like absolutely unbelievable. He's going to be at Wembley in March. And I can't wait. And hopefully, I might even get to crew or be mentored through this. I'm hoping Nick is going to give me a hand and help me through this. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Trent coming to Wembley. And the fact that it's at Wembley makes me think that maybe we might get this Wembley event that I've been hoping through this, because it's all well and good to be pushing to proving that this level of child exploitation, as I've said, I talk about child exploitation, sexual abuse, rape, you know, it's pornography. It's about the healing, and the only way that people really get to heal is in that justice, is in that being believed. It's in that I believe. And the challenge is very few victims. You know how I feel about this word victim. Overcomer. I don't believe. I find being called a victim is abuse in itself. So I don't like that word. But at some point you become a victim to somebody manipulating you or physically taking you. That is not, so at the end of the day, the only way that somebody can take your physical body is to physically grab you, hold you and take you, and you will be taken kicking and screaming or fighting for your fucking life. When I learned about the word yardie, I was shocked as heck, and I didn't understand this other form of manipulation, and that can be that people who are grooming people for drugs can basically, I don't even want to project this onto me right now, but when I heard about this through one of my mums, and she told me how she got into drugs, how she got into prostitution, and she told me how it happened, and she said literally these yardies come through the door and put a needle to her son's neck and literally told her that very same day, we will inject your children if you don't come and do what we ask you to do. And they would then take her in the car, stick a needle in her and go and do what they needed to do with her. And we've all seen films, look, we've all seen films. There isn't any one of us that can't say that we haven't seen films like Taken, or these films where you see these women, young girls, that are taken into these rooms, and they stand in this room and they have a glass in front of them, and they're slightly staggering because they've been injected or something like that. And then literally, if you've ever seen the bookies, yeah, or if you've ever seen stock markets, literally they will go highest bidder, right? We've all seen it in the films. We've all seen some form of film where we're all rooting for the hero father who's going to get in there and save his girl who was at the airport, and it was the first time that they'd allowed her to go on a flight from uni by herself, and she's been kidnapped, and the hero father comes through. And, you know, in every single film, there's always a corrupt police officer. And then we turn off the film and we go back to our lives, and it's just a film. But these snippets of films come from real lives, real realities, real things that are going on that we turn the blind eye. Now, End It is getting a lot of backlash because they're an awareness group. They don't do anything else. They're an awareness group. It's a mass big platform of lots of different partnership people. So if you know who Aston is, Aston was an actor, but he invested his money. Now, this is where I draw the line, because I'm not sure of Demi Moore's involvement in all of this. And yeah, she was married to him, but Ashton invested into a thing called, what's it called? It's called Can't remember what it's called, but it's basically software that helps them track people that are being trafficked. I don't know how it does it, and blah, 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 blah. That's just one person who sits on the platform who decided to put the red X on. Now, in 2010, when I first ever came out, big, this is before Aaron and Faith were taken. I was in this long before Aaron and Faith were taken. I've been involved in many, many stories of horrible, horrendous sexual abuse that, if I'm brutally honest, has made me feel better about my own, because there is always a story that is so much more tragic than your own. And one of the difficulties in healing when you have some form of trauma is people will always tell you, oh, there's always somebody worse off, there's always a story, and it prevents you from actually going, well, actually, mine really hurt too, and actually I can take ownership of that pain and I can deal with that pain, and I'm not a victim, and actually I can reset them boundaries again. I can take my own power away, take my own power back, sorry. They with people who put themselves onto people in this way, it is done because they are bullies. The reason that they choose children is because children can't fight back in the same way that an adult can. Now, I'm not a specialist in any way, form of why people want. I couldn't get my head around. It makes me physically sick. I want to cry. I want to shake at even thought. And I watch, I don't know whether to say my partner, this has pretty much killed our relationship, but like, I watch the anger that he goes through when I'm listening to videos. He bounces around the room. He's like, how do we as a nation, as a society now, deal with something that in 2010, they were saying that there was 28 million people living in slavery. When they were talking about slavery, they were talking about people who were being used and abused for sexual slavery. And the challenge that we've got now is that's 28 million just in that side of things. We've then got children who are being manipulated in the gay community, used in the gay community. We've got different rings, different networks. The pie exchange was taken away, but it didn't go away just because it didn't become some official status. We are the pie exchange. Hey, we are, not we as in me personally, nah, but they didn't get this, yay, pie exchange network coming on here. It just went underground again. So the challenge that we have is infiltrated everywhere. It's infiltrated by unnecessary breast examinations in medical stages. It's being done in monitoring people who are going through challenges, pregnant, because we might be able to pull them into this. It's going from parents, you can't even call them parents, baby boomers that are having children for the intentions of putting them into to do that stuff to that baby, to put that baby intentionally. What the fuck is going on in somebody's head that they, as a male, I have to say male man, wants to enter a penis into a vagina? Now, I know that in some cultures they teach that if you have sexual contact with an innocent, that it will heal you from your demons. So there is that belief that goes on. There is others that believe that do that, you fuck up that child for a world, and we've got a whole world of narcissists because they've been screwed up by one person who decided to completely destroy their innocence, and not just destroy their innocence, destroy their physical body, the alignment of their body, their lives, and how they're going to be in this world for the rest of their lives until somebody gets hold of them and sort of goes, oh, come on, let's let's give you genuine, real love, not this fake shit, you know, church shit, like, you know, oh, you're our sister and we love you, but real, genuine love, and help them reset their boundaries and help them take their power back. You know, sometimes people never get into that intervention. If anybody knows of oh, her name's gone right out of my head. But she talks on videos, on stage, things like that. And she was put through trafficking, and it took for somebody to actually grab hold of her and go, do you understand that this world you're in is not real? Come with me. I'll show you a very different world. Because some people have never come out of it. When I was an escort, one of the things that I found really sad is that there was a lot of cross-age girls coming in, and it was because their mums were escorts, so therefore they naturally thought, well, why go and get a job in a shop for minimum wage when I can go for a minimum of £200 and on that? And they've naturally just come into that world. And what I was doing with a lot of people in that world when I came out was helping them set up businesses. And they were the first people that I sort of went for the young girls that really didn't know any different. And, you know, every single person in this world has a right to a private life. Every single person in this world has a right to live the way that they choose to live. Everyone in this world has a right to be the way they want to be. You know, you want to drink alcohol, go ahead and do it. You want to smoke a fag, go ahead and do it. You want to smoke a joint, go do it. You want to inject a needle in you, go do it. You want to go and fuck 50 men, go do it. But when it's being done against somebody's will, and also that they have never been shown another way, if somebody has experienced life and thinks, yeah, do you know what, I love sex, and that's probably going to get edited now, you know, and says, you know, that's what they want to do, then that is free for them to go and do what they want to do. But when somebody's being picked off of the streets, or being taken from their beds in foster homes or care homes, or even parents that are selling their children, and it doesn't matter what culture, it doesn't matter whether somebody lives in a council home in Great Britain or a hut in Nigeria, or you know, over in Uganda, or in the middle of London, or over in New York, or in Afghanistan, or in, you know, a child is a child in whatever blood, creed, nation. So I've got all sorts going on with my fucking laptop at the moment. It's but it look, we have British men going over to places like Uganda and paying parents with absolutely nothing to take their children off. One may be telling them that they're going to give them a lovely time, or give them food, or give them the break, or maybe even tell them what they're doing with them. But they're basically pimping these children out. These parents need to be taught that this is wrong. These parents need to understand, yes, we can go over and go, boom, put a fucking bullet to your head, go away. But that isn't the way to do this. And that's exactly the same with those that are doing this. We can't just go, bang, look, you know, we're going to hang and quarter you outside fucking London, as much as people would love to do this. We can't do that. So we have to re-educate, and that has to start with love. That has to start with real love, consummate love. That has to start back with basic true values. And we have bred a whole nation that has become so fucked up and so twisted. I think it was Footloose that said that when we started with the clubs that we would bring the devil dancing, and I think they were right. And when many babies have come from one night stands in a club and been shoved on a church doorstep, or not really brought into the world that they should be. And I think we as a nation really sort of need to come together now and go, look, we can't look to government to sort this shit out, because they're just one person, and we're not one person. That Boris Johnson can't make us do anything. He really can't. He can try. His job is to try to inspire us, empower us. This is why I'm loving that Trent's coming over. I know I'll make no money out of Trent coming over. By the way, do I, Nick? Yes, Nick has no affiliation links. But I'm hoping he's going to let me come and crew, because I think Trent Sheldon is absolutely fucking rocks. And And we need a lot of people who have been and overcome traumas coming out with their stories, because it helps people heal. I was always the one in the toilets listening to people's stories who would get really drunk, and they'd always break down about some guy they slept with that they didn't want to, and then when they talk about it, you know, it's come back down to boundaries or some sexual abuse, and it's usually been a dad, a stepfather, they were in foster care, you know, just having sex as young kids and they don't know how to get out of it. We can define the law. We can define the law and say, hey, no sex until 18. But if we're not teaching about relationships with oneself, relationships with others, if we're just putting children into school and saying, sit down, shut up, and do as you're told, no wonder children are getting raped. You know, lay down, take my dick inside you. Okay, because I'm going to get detention, aren't I? Or I'm going to get into trouble with my parents. Yes, if you tell anybody, I'm going to kill your parents. Well, you know, we've got a lot of people who have had their power taken away from them because we haven't taught that it's okay to say no. And actually, it's okay to fight back, and it's okay to say, sorry, but I don't want to do this, or sorry, no, this is wrong. But one of the challenges that I had when I was, say, 13, 14, I started reaching out to teachers and asking them about, you know, when you're at youth club and you must, and the girls, I'm sorry to say this, there's probably loads of you that can really relate to this and probably are going, oh, I haven't quite told anybody this, but like, she's right. But you know, when you're at youth club and it's always the boys that want to stick their fucking hands down your trousers, isn't it? And you get in these fucking situations where all of a sudden you're at a party, you're getting fingered. I'm talking about when you're a kid, you're getting fingered by some fucking lad, and then all of a sudden they're talking about it outside, and you're thinking, how did that happen? I think it was base 1, base 2, base 3, base 4 back then. And we all remember the grinding, and then at some point that changes, and boys and girls, even boys, sorry to say, but boys, you can make girls feel like shit. Say if they don't sleep with you, then you tell everybody they're a slag and they were frigid or whatever. And this whole thing has to stop, because they don't teach. They just sort of sit in between, don't they? You know, like if you ever go away at school and the teachers will sit in the middle of the boys and the girls and nobody really tells you about these relationships. And I can remember being, in fact, one of them actually follows me. Hello, Andrew. I can remember going through primary school, and it was me, Daniel Barnes, Neil White, Andrew Fothergill, and oh, gotta go, babes. They've both woken up.